Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you and walk you through how to write a Python script that will build out a web service that's going to allow you to take your regular videos, say they're 16:9 videos that you've built, or if you use a service to record your games that capture the screenshots like NVIDIA or any of the other game replay modules that are out there. It'll take that video, it'll track the player and create a 9:16 video for social media so that you can have it in your reels or your stories. And that way you can use that in a future scenario to post it via make.com. So this video is not going to cover the make.com portion of that because that would make it a much longer video. I'm going to focus with this video on actually writing the Python script. If you don't know how to set up your Python environment before you write out the script, then I can create a separate video for that. So if you want that video, just leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll make that video for you as well. But in this video, I'm going to focus on writing the script, showing you what dependencies we're going to be using, and then running that script, showing you how it's going to look on the web, what it's going to do with the video before and after. And hopefully by the time we're done, you'll be able to do the same thing yourself. So appreciate it. Hope you guys will like this video. And without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, guys, just to show you how this works to get started, I've already loaded it here. Or refresh it. It's there. What I'm going to do next, and I have, I'll take this one over here. I've got this charge flick, which is a Fortnite clip. Let's see how it's widescreen. I take that, I'm going to drag it into my video converter. I'm going to show here, upload and convert. We'll go through. It takes a little bit of time to convert. If you want to see what's going on, we'll pull up the terminal. Going through and it's checking every single frame, frame by frame. As it goes through this, it makes this determination. It's making note of everything so that when it generates the video output, then it will show well, you'll see the results. I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to talk. It's going to be blah, 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 blah while it finishes. So I can fast forward during this and make it really fast. So it looks cool, but it does take a little bit of time. I'm running a M4 Mac Mini. Now you can see it's writing the actual video itself. Okay, now it looks like it's done. So when I come back, I can download the video. If I did multiple videos, I'd be able to download a zip. Download. And here's the video. Watch it now. We can see that the crosshair is not in the very middle of the video, which it would be if this was just taking a simple portion of video to export, but it's actually following the character, which is why it's not. So this is a nice clip that we can put on social media. So now let's walk through how we're able to accomplish this. All right, here's my code for this. I've got a few imports, some other dependencies that I had to install, but we're going to start with import OS, import zip file, import UUID, import CV2, import numpy as NP, import subprocess, import Flask request JSONify, send from directory, render template, from Ultralytics, import YOLO, from wordsxuse.utils, import secure file name. App Flask name. This is the start of our web service so that we can build it out and use this via the web. If you want to do a model where you build this out for your terminal and you just take a full directory of files and want it to change that entire directory's files into 9:16 output, then you can do that as well. That's what I did initially before I built this as a web app. Okay. App secret key is your secret key. You can replace that with anything you want so that other people can't use your scenario here or the process that you're building. App secret key. I have this just as your secret key. This is something you're going to want to replace and put as whatever you want. Obviously, this isn't much of an issue for me considering this is just being ran locally, but if you decided to export this and run this via the cloud, it's something you'd want to make more secure. We define our folders. So my upload folder is going to be called uploads. My output folder is going to be called outputs. If they are not there, we want to make those folders, which is what we're doing with our next commands, which is os.makeDirs, parenthesis upload underscore folder, comma exists underscore OK equals true, end parenthesis. And then the same for our output folder. So os.makeDirs, parenthesis open output underscore folder, comma exists underscore OK equals true, close parenthesis. Next, we're going to want to define our YOLO model. We're using the YOLO v8s.pt model. There is a smaller model than this, and there are larger models than this, but from what I have found, this model works best for the scenario that I'm building so that it doesn't time out and it doesn't go overboard. It doesn't use more processes than it should. I want to make sure that this is limited to video files, so I'm going to put allowed extensions equals MP4, MOV, and AVIs. We're going to define the allowed files as those extensions, and we're going to determine what those are using the next commands, which is the ext equals os.path.split text, and the file name, return ext.lower, open close parenthesis, and allowed extensions. So it's only searching for files to make sure that they have those allowed extensions. Next thing, we're going to define detect player video path. So this uses YOLO v8 to detect the player in the video. It will return the XYWH or none if the detection fails. So next line, we're going to do cap equals CV2 video capture video path. If not cap is opened, return none. ROI history, while true, return frame and cap read. If not, return break. So this is just making sure that we can read each frame of the video so that our AI can detect where the player. The results model frame. This extracts the bounding boxes of the player so that we know where the player is, and then we can follow that player throughout the video. So boxes equals results, array boxes XY XY, CPU numpy. If results 0, boxes XY XY is not none else. If len boxes is greater than 0, then take the largest bounding box. X1 Y1 X2 Y2 equals max. Boxes comma key equals lambda, b colon parenthesis b2 minus b0 in parenthesis multiplied by b3 minus b1. The ROI underscore history dot append x1 comma y1 comma x2 minus x1 comma y2 minus y1. Cap release. If not ROI history, return none. XYWH equals NP mean, ROI history, axis 0, AS type int, return XYWH. Define, so we want to crop the video with FFmpeg. You want to make sure your machine has FFmpeg installed. Your input path, output path, and ROI are the variables are going to send through. So your cap is your CV2 video capture, input path, width, int cap get, CV2 dot cap underscore prop underscore frame underscore width. Height equals int cap dot get, CV2 dot cap underscore prop underscore frame underscore height. And then cap release. XYWH equals your ROI. And the new width is an integer, the height being 9:16. So that's our aspect ratio. We want to center horizontally on the player's bounding box, like I mentioned in the aforementioned video that we walked through. So center x equals x plus w. And the new x equals max 0 min center x minus new width. Width minus new width. FFmpeg command. This is so that we per our writing of the file. So we're using FFmpeg minus I to overwrite minus I to input path minus VF to crop the size. minus V to use the library, minus CRF23, minus preset fast, and then the output path. So process.run, run the command. Okay, define our process video input path. We want to detect the player crop to 916. Base name, OS path, split text, OS path, base name, input path. Determines our path, output file equals base name plus. We're appending 9x16 .mp4 to our output file name. Output file path, put our output folder and output file. ROI detect player input path. If ROI is none, then return none. Route video with FFmpeg, input path, output path, ROI, return the output file. Now our entry points for our Flask app route, planet route is going to be our index. This is something we're going to build out in our templates folder. So it renders our single page front end. So return render template index.html. App route upload post. So when we do an upload, this is when it will use YOLO and FFmpeg to process the file and return the JSON. So if file not in request files, return JSONify success. File equals request files and file. If not, file name, return JSONify success false. Error, empty file name. The first one's an error, empty no file part. And if it's the wrong kind of file, we'll have unsupported file type. So those are pretty easy to follow. Next file name is secure file name, input path, OS path join, upload folder plus file name, file, save, input path. Process file name equals process video input path. If not processed, file name, return JSONify success false, error, processing failed. But finally, if the process is a success, then we're going to return the processed file name. Next route we want for our entry point is going to be the download piece. For app route, download the file name. Define download file name. Return send from directory output folder file name as attachment true. We want to download all the files because we have the ability to upload multiple files. Then we're going to do an app route download zip. Define download zip, zip name. You can name this whatever you want to call your zip file. The zip folder that I've created for mine is zips. OS make dir zip folder exists true, okay, true. Zip path, OS path join, zip folder, zip name. With zip file.zip file, zip path w, zip file.zip deflated, SZF. For fname and os.listdir, output folder. File path equals OS path join. Output folder, fname if OS path is file path, df right, file path, arc name, fname. Return send from directory, zip folder, zip name as attachment true. If name equals main, app run. So save this for application that you're going to run. This folder. I'm going to build out your index. Got a long index file here. It all. I mean, most of this is typical HTML, so you're going to have your styling. So using the style sheet I built it in there. You're going to have a div side of your body, and you can make this look however you like. The big thing we're going to have here is in our scripts. Got a drop zone. This is the drop zone where you can put your file in. You've got your file input, which is if you're going to upload a single file. The browse button, file list, main button. Okay. Pretty simple stuff if you know about HTML. Got event listeners on click, event listeners on change, event listeners on drag over. Then for our functions, our function add to files, selected files. We'll let f of selected files. If if no f.name.match, mp4 remove ABI, then we let the user know that the file is not the supported type. And if so, then we'll process the file name. Okay, render file list. Now function render file list. File list dot enter HTML equals empty string. Files array for each object index. An object. We're going to construct file item equals document dot create element. File item dot class name file item. top row document, create element div, top row class name, file top. So this is our settings. So I built this out to where it's going to change. So once this is completed, you'll see that our button turns into the download button and gives the ability to point towards our endpoint to download the actual file. If it's not processed yet, I want the ability to remove the file so that it doesn't go through the download process. This gives people the ability to remove a file that they accidentally uploaded or decided they didn't want to use. Okay. Progress bar. This one is really just visually appealing, but it only really shows your upload accurately. Your download or your processing actually is goes up to the first 90%, and then the last 10%. It's kind of the arbitrary number because we don't really know how long it's going to take to encode or do everything. So all that arbitrary. So we can see for what we have to listen though, we've got our function here, upload file sequential, upload single file, and here's our progress bar. See xhr.upload.add event listener. It's a constant percent upload bar style with a percent, 100% in processing bar. Start with a green bar, processing bar 0, and then the processing interval. See where it says, this is kind of what I just explained. Processing progress is less than 90. Processing progress plus equals 1. Processing bar style width. There, the interval 150 milliseconds, so 15 seconds to reach 90. When it should really take longer than that. So I could probably increase that just because it does take a lot longer than that for us to process our files. But it gives you an idea on where to start. We're going to add the event listener, processing interval. Their status equals 200, which is a success. Then we change the remove button to a download button. When all files are done, we want that last button that says to generate your files, to download all of this. So I'm not going to go too into detail on this. This is all HTML JavaScript, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. But yeah, that's going to give us those final results that allowed us to create our video and allowed us to make our output here. So once again, this is how our final product looks. Got any gamers or people who use video, FPS, first player shooters, then you could build a script like this to make your videos exported perfectly for social media. What I would do then next with make.com, I would actually take this video, put it into a folder, put all my output from all the videos that I built into a folder, and then do that automation that I've already walked through. I'm in another video on how to use my API call to do that. So if you have questions, let me know. I know this was a quick walkthrough, but I know that I feel the feedback that I've been getting on the channel is that they like the no-nonsense quick walkthroughs instead of going through and typing each line of code over and over, just kind of going through what I've already written and walking through it real quick. So hopefully you appreciate that. If you need help, just let me know. Drop a like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. Please drop a note in the comment section. It does help the YouTube algorithm. It helps me get more exposure, and it helps me communicate with you and let me know what you guys want to see next. So appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Once again, like and subscribe, and have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next week.